Are you ready to take the leap and find a new love in 2025? As we step into the new year, many of us are thinking about what we want to achieve, and for some of us, that means opening ourselves up to the possibility of love. But before we can do that, we need to ask ourselves, are we truly ready? Fear of getting hurt again, fear of not being good enough, fear of being alone. These are just a few of the common fears and hesitations that people face when considering a new relationship after past experiences. Maybe you've been hurt before, and the thought of putting yourself out there again feels daunting. Maybe you're worried that you are not worthy of love, or that you are just not good enough. Whatever your fear may be, it's holding you back from taking that first step towards love. The truth is, we've all been there. We've all experienced some level of pain or headache in the past. But it's how we choose to respond to that pain that determines whether we'll stay stuck or move forward. When we let fear hold us back, we miss out on the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to love again. We all have a past, but it's how we process that past that determines our readiness for love in the present. So, what's holding you back from taking that leap and finding love in 2025? Is it the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, or the fear of being alone? Whatever it is, know that you are not alone. We all have our own unique struggles and fears when it comes to love, but it's how we face those fears that matters. Self-awareness, healing from past relationships, and setting intentions. These are just a few of the essential factors that contribute to being ready to love. When we take that time to get to know ourselves, to understand what we want and need in a relationship, we become more confident and more open to the possibility of love. Healing from past relationships is also crucial. It allowed us to release the emotional baggage that's holding us back and move forward with a clear heart and mind. And finally, setting intentions gives us direction and purpose. It helps us to focus on what we want and to attract that is into our lives. But how do we actually do this? How do we cultivate self-awareness, heal from past relationships, and set intentions for love? One way is to start by taking responsibility for our own healing. This means acknowledging our past pain, forgiving ourselves and others, and choosing to let go of the emotional baggage that's holding us back. It also means taking the time to get to know ourselves, our values, our boundaries, and our desires. When we have a clear understanding of what we want, we are more likely to attract that into our lives. Another key insight is to focus on the present moment. So often, we get caught up in the past or worried about the future. But the present moment is where true love resides. Where we focus on the present, we become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and desires, and we are more open to the possibility of love. We also need to let go of the need for control and perfection. Love is messy. imperfection and unpredictable. And when we try to control it, we often push it away. Finally, we need to cultivate gratitude and positivity in our lives. When we focus on what we are grateful for, we attract more positivity and love into our lives. We also need to surround ourselves with people who support and uplift us, and to take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually. When we do this, we become more confident, more radiant, and more open to the possibility of love. So, what does it mean to be ready for love? It means being open, vulnerable, and willing to take a chance on someone new. It means being brave enough to face our fears, to heal from our past, and to set intentions for love. It means being kind to ourselves, forgiving ourselves, and choosing to let go of the emotional baggage that's holding us back. Most importantly, it means believing in ourselves and our worthiness of love. As we embark on this journey of readiness for love, let's remember that growth and a positive mindset are key. When we focus on growing as individuals, we become more confident, more radiant, and more open to the possibility of love. So take a deep breath, let go of your fears, and choose to open yourself up to the possibility of love in 2025. Woo-hoo! Dating a married man can be a tempting and tantalizing experience, especially when you're lonely or feeling unfulfilled in your own relationship. But the truth is, getting involved with someone who is already committed to someone else can have devastating consequences that can impact your entire life. Emotionally, being involved with a married man can be draining and damaging. You may feel like you're walking on eggshells, constantly wondering if and when he'll leave his wife for you, or if he's just using you to fulfill his own desires. The lack of commitment and security can be overwhelming, leading to feelings of anxiety, insecurity, and low self-worth. Absolutely true. Socially, being involved with a married man can be isolating and alienating. You may feel like you can't introduce him to your friends and family, or share your relationship on social media for fear of being judged or exposed. You may start to withdraw from social events and gatherings, feeling like you're living a secret life that you can't share with anyone. Legally, being involved with a married man can be a minefield of potential lawsuits, alimony battles, and custody disputes. If the relationship ends, you may find yourself caught in the middle of a messy divorce with no legal rights or protection. And if you become pregnant, you may be faced with the daunting prospect of raising a child on your own without any financial or emotional support from the father. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who is constantly torn between you and his wife. Imagine the guilt trips, the lies, the broken promises, and the endless drama that comes with loving someone who's already committed to someone else. It's a recipe for disaster, a toxic cocktail of emotion that can leave you feeling drained, defeated, and demoralized. One classic scenario is the trapped husband, where the man claims to be unhappy in his marriage and promises to leave his wife for you, but never follows through, you're stuck in limbo, waiting for him to make a decision while he continues to string you along with false promises and empty lies. Another scenario is the revenge affair, where the married man is seeking revenge against his wife by sleeping with you without any intentions of leaving her or committing to you. I know of a woman who got involved with a married man thinking he was going to leave his wife for her. But after months of promises and broken commitment, she realized she was just a pawn in his game of deception. She was left heartbroken, humiliated, and feeling like she did lost a part of herself in the process. Dating a married man can be a catastrophic mistake, one that can ruin your life in ways you never thought possible. It's not just about the emotional toll, but also the legal and social consequences that can follow. It's not just about the heartbreak, but also the potential damage to your self-esteem, your reputation, and your relationships with others. The story of Sarah, who dated a married man for 3 years, is a powerful reminder of the dangers involved. She thought she was in love, but soon realized she was just a side dish to his marriage. She was left shattered, feeling like she's wasted 3 years of her life on a relationship that was never meant to be. Her story is a stark warning to anyone considering dating a married man. It may seem exciting and alluring at first, but it can ultimately lead to a life of regret, headache, and sorrow. In conclusion, dating a married man can be a recipe for disaster, leading to emotional distress, social isolation, and legal chaos. It's not worth the risk, ladies. It's time to take control of your own life, to focus on your own happiness, and to avoid the pitfalls of getting involved with someone who's already committed to someone else. Thanks for watching. And if you have a story to share about dating a married man, please leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my next video on relationship red flags. See you in my next video. Join me as I dive into the challenge of spotting the red flags and uncovering the truth behind a guy who might just have a secret girlfriend. Yes, I said secret girlfriend. When it comes to relationships, one of the most nerve-wracking experiences can be discovering that your partner has a secret girlfriend. It's a betrayal of trust, a breach of loyalty, and a complete disregard for your emotions. The question is, why do men do this? And more importantly, how can you protect yourself from falling victim to this deception? Discovering that your partner has a hidden girlfriend can be emotionally crippling. You start questioning your own worth, wondering what you did wrong and how you could have been so blind. The emotional turmoil can be overwhelming, making it difficult to eat, sleep, or even function normally. The feeling of being replaced or worse used can be a constant nagging feeling that's hard to shake off. The emotional challenges that arise from this situation can be long-lasting and in some cases even lead to anxiety and depression. Furthermore, the trust that's broken is hard to repair, making it difficult to move forward in the relationship. When you're in a relationship with someone who's hiding a secret girlfriend, the relationship challenges are motivated. On one hand, you are dealing with the emotional fallout of being lied to and betrayed. On the other hand, you're trying to navigate the complexity of the relationship, wondering if it's even worth salvaging. The lines of communication become blurred, and the sense of intimacy and connection you once shared start to dissipate. You start to wonder anything your partner ever told you was true, or if it is all just a facade. The signs of a man with a secret girlfriend can be subtle, but they are often there, hiding in plain sight. He might be overwhelmingly secretive about his phone, on social media, always making excuses to take calls or text in private. He might become distant or withdrawn, citing work or stress as the reason, but in reality, he's juggling multiple relationships. You might be overly curious about your schedule, always asking about your whereabouts and who you're spending time with. He might be inconsistent with his words and actions, saying one thing and doing another. And in some cases, he might even become controlling and possessive, trying to reel you in and keep you from discovering the truth. I remember a friend who was in a relationship with a guy who seemed perfect. He was charming, attentive, and romantic. But as time went on, she started to notice that he would always take his phone with him, even to the bathroom. He would get defensive when she asked about his social media, and he would often cancel plans at the last minute, citing work emergency. It wasn't until she stumbled upon a photo of him with another girl on a social media that she realized the truth. He had been juggling two relationships the entire time, and she was just a pawn in his game. One of the most critical insights you can take away from this conversation is the importance of trusting your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't brush off your concerns or doubt as paranoid or jealousy. Instead, listen to that little voice inside you that's telling you something is wrong. It's better to be safe than sorry. And it's always better to prioritize your own emotional well-being. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who is honest, loyal, and committed to you and you alone. To protect yourself from falling for a man who might not be fully available, you need to be vigilant and aware. Don't be afraid to ask questions, to seek clarification, and to set boundaries. Make sure you're not ignoring red flags or making excuses for your partner's questionable behaviors. You deserve to be treated with respect, honesty, and transparency. And most importantly, don't be afraid to walk away if you sense something is off. Your emotional well-being is worth more than any relationship. In conclusion, spotting the red flags of a man with a secret girlfriend can be a challenge, but it's not impossible. By being aware of the signs, trusting your instincts, and prioritizing your own emotional well-being, you can avoid the headache and pain that comes with being betrayed. Remember, you deserve to be treated with love, respect, and honesty. Thanks for watching. And if you have any thoughts or experiences you'd like to share, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you want to learn more about relationship red flags, be sure to check out my other videos. You will learn a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. We love you in our family. Imagine you know the signs of one-sided relationship and you realize that you are stuck in one. What will you do? Recognizing one-sided relationship is crucial for our emotional well-being. It's essential to acknowledge when we are investing more time, energy, and love into a connection that's not reciprocated. Being aware of this imbalance can save us from feelings of frustration, resentment, and burnout. You might be understanding or wondering if you're stuck in a one-sided relationship. Do you often feel like you are the one initiating conversations, making plans, and showing affections? Do you feel like your partner is not meeting you halfway, leaving you feeling drained and unappreciated? These are the common signs of a one-sided relationship, and it's time to take a closer look. In a one-sided relationship, you might feel like you are constantly pouring your heart out, but not getting anything back in return. Your partner might not be making an effort to understand you, support your goals, or show interest in your life. You might feel like you're talking to a wall and you're feeling like constantly or consistently being dismissed or ignored. You feel so drained and dry. That's telling you that it's a one-sided relationship. You might be thinking, but I love them and I love they love me too. Love is not enough to sustain a relationship. A healthy connection requires mutual respect, trust, and communication. You're consistently feeling unheard, unseen, or unloved. It's time to reevaluate the dynamics of that relationship. Being in a one-sided relationship can have severe psychological and emotional impact. You may feel frustrated, lonely, and unheard. You might start to doubt your own worth, wondering if you are not good enough or if there's something wrong with you. You might feel like you are walking on eggshells, constantly trying to avoid conflict or confrontation. The lack of emotional intimacy is a one-sided relationship can lead to feelings of isolation and disconnection. You might feel like you're living with a stranger rather than a partner. But who cares about your well-being? This can lead to low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. I want to share a personal story that resonated with me. I was in a relationship where I felt like I was constantly giving but not receiving. I felt like I was drained both physically and emotionally. It took me a while to realize that I deserved better, that I deserved to be seen, heard, and loved. It was a hard lesson to learn, but it was a turning point for me. I remember feeling like I was stuck in a rut, like I was going through the motions of a relationship without my real connection. It took a lot of self-reflection and courage to acknowledge that I deserve more. I realized that I was worthy of love, care, and attention. That realization changed everything for me. If you're stuck in a one-sided relationship, I want you to know that you are not alone. You deserve to be seen, heard, and loved. You deserve to be in a relationship where you feel valued, respected, and supported. Remember, your worth is not defined by someone else, someone else's behavior, or someone else's love. In conclusion, recognizing the sign of a one-sided relationship is crucial for our emotional well-being. It's time to acknowledge the imbalance, take responsibility for our own happiness, and seek balanced connections. Thanks for watching, and I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you ever been in a one-sided relationship? How did you overcome it? Share your story and let's connect. And if you want more relationship insight, be sure to check out my other videos. Imagine the feelings and challenges of having to call off a wedding. It is a decision worth regretting, right? Calling off a wedding is a monumental decision that carries a significant emotional and social weight. It's a choice that can't be taken lightly, and one that is often accompanied by feelings of guilt, shame, and anxiety. When considering calling off a wedding, one of the biggest internal challenges is navigating the fear of regret. Will I regret not going through with the wedding? Will I miss out on the opportunity to spend my life with this person? These questions come to mind and can be overwhelming and make it difficult to trust your instincts. Externally, there are also significant societal pressures to attend with. Family and friends may have already invested time, money, and emotional energy into the wedding, making it difficult to disappoint them. There is also the fear of being judged or pitied by others, which can be a heavy burden to carry. On top of these internal and external pressures, there's the added layer of uncertainty about what the future holds. If I call off the wedding, will I be able to find someone else who is compatible with me? Will I regret not taking the leap and committing to this person? One of the main reasons people call off their wedding is due to personal doubt and uncertainty. For some, it may be a realization that they are not ready for marriage, while for others, it may be a growing sense of incompatibility with their partner. Whatever the reason, it is essential to listen to that inner voice and trust that it's guiding you towards a better future. Conflict and disagreement can also be a significant factor in calling off a wedding. If there are unresolved issues or unaddressed problems in the relationship, it may become clear that marriage won't be successful in the long run. It is better to confront these issues head on and make a decision that's in the best interest of you both parties. Another reason people call off their wedding is due to a realization that they are not on the same page as their partner. This can manifest in different ways, such as differences in value, goals, or lifestyle. Whatever the reason is, it's crucial to acknowledge these differences and make a decision that aligns with your own needs and desires. According to a recent study, over 50% of couples who called off their weddings reported feeling a sense of relief and freedom after making the decision. This statistic highlights the importance of following one's intuition and making a choice that's right for you, even if it's difficult. One couple I spoke to recently told me that they called off their wedding just a week before the big day. They said it was one of the most difficult decisions they've ever made, but in the end, it was the right one. They realized that they were incompatible and that their relationship was unsustainable in the long run. Today, they are both in happy, healthy relationships with other people, and they look back on that decision with gratitude. In the end, calling off a wedding, it's not a failure, but rather a brave decision to prioritize your own needs and desires. It's a choice that requires courage, trust, and self-awareness, but one that can ultimately lead to a more fulfilling and happy life. So, if you are ever found yourself in a similar situation, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you are looking for more relationship advice, be sure to check out my video on signs you're in a toxic relationship. Thanks for watching. Having a husband who loves and adores you unconditionally is the ultimate dream for many women. It's the kind of love that makes you feel seen, heard, and cherished, and it's what every woman deserves to experience in her relationship. But how do we get to that point? Imagine feeling like you're walking on eggshells in your relationship, never knowing when your partner will criticize or dismiss your feelings. It's exhausting, draining, and it makes you feel like you are not good enough. Or maybe you are in a relationship where you feel like you're carrying the emotional load all by yourself, with your partner not even noticing the sacrifices you're making for them. The truth is, many women struggle with feeling unappreciated, unheard, or overlooked in their relationships. They give and give, but never seem to receive the love, attention, or support they crave. And it's heartbreaking because deep down, all we want is to feel love, is to feel seen, is to feel adored by our partners. But what if I told you that it's possible to have a relationship where you feel like you are on cloud 9, where your partner adores and cherishes you, not just sometimes, but all the time, where you feel like you're the queen of the world, and your partner is your biggest fan. So, what's the secret to fostering unconditional love in a relationship? It all comes down to cultivating qualities like communication, respect, and shared values. When both parties feel heard, seen, and understood, they can connect on a deeper level and create a love that's unshakable. In fact, research has shown that couples who communicate effectively, respect each other's differences, and share common goals and values tend to have a stronger, more resilient bond. They are able to weather any storm and come out even stronger on the other side. But here's the thing: it takes work, effort, and commitment from both partners. It's not a one-way street where one person does all the giving and the other does all the taking. It's a dance where both partners move together in harmony, supporting, loving, and adoring each other every step of the way. So, what's the key insight that can shift the dynamic in your relationship towards deeper affection and admiration. It's quite simple. Really, it's embracing your own worth and deservingness of love. When you love and accept yourself, flaws, and all, you open yourself up to receiving the same kind of love from your partner. You see, when you know your worth, you won't settle for anything less than a love that is pure, unconditional, and all-consuming. You will demand to be adored, cherished, and loved for who you are, and you will attract a partner who is willing to give you just that. So, to sum it all up, having a husband who adores you unconditionally is not just a pipe dream. It's a reality that's within your reach. By cultivating qualities like communication, respect, and shared values, and by embracing your own worth, you can create a love that is strong, resilient, and unshakable. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have ever struggled with feeling unappreciated or unlooked in your relationship, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you're ready to dive deeper into relationship tips and self-love, be sure to check out my next video. Join me, let's put these 8 scientifically proven tips to the test and see if one can actually find love. Finding love is, in today's world, can be tough, but what if I told you there are scientifically proven ways to increase your chances of finding that special someone? In this video, I'm sharing 8 tips that have been backed by research to help you in your journey to find love. Stay tuned to the end and you won't regret. The number 8 one is the most important. We've all been there, swiping through dating apps, attending social events, and trying to put ourselves out there, but still ending up feeling frustrated, disappointed, or even heartbroken. I've been there, so I know. The fear of rejection, the pressure to present a perfect online persona, and the overwhelming feeling of being stuck in a never-ending cycle of bad dates can be daunting. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that love is just out of reach. But what if I told you, or we told ourselves, that it's not about finding the right person, but about becoming the right person? That's exactly what we'll be exploring today. Stay tuned. Another common struggle people face is the feeling of being lost in the dating world. With so many options available, it's hard to know where to start or how to start or stand out from the crowd. We might find ourselves stuck in a pattern of trying to please everyone, only to end up feeling miserable and unfulfilled. It's time to break free from these patterns and focus on what truly matters: building meaningful connections with others. Yes, building meaningful connections is very important. So what are these 8 scientifically proven tips that can help us in our journey to finding love? Let's dive in. Tip number 1 is to get clear on what you want. Research has shown that having a clear idea of what you want in a partner and relationship can increase your chances of attracting that person into your life. Tip number 2 is to focus on building self-awareness. By understanding your own values, your own strengths and weaknesses, you will be in a better position or better equipped to make conscious decisions in your love life. Tip number 3 is to work on building a growth mindset. Believe it or not, having a growth mindset can make you more attractive to others. Tip number 4 is to practice self-care. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health can boost your confidence and energy, making you more appealing to potential partners. Tip number 5 is to be open to new experiences. Putting yourself out there and trying new things can increase your chances of meeting new people and forming new connections. And tip number 6 is to focus on building meaningful friendships. Research has shown that people are more likely to find love through their social circles, so invest in those friendships. Tip number 7 is to practice mindfulness. Being present in the moment and letting go of anxiety and worries can help you connect with others or on a deeper level. Number 8, the last and the most important one, is to show vulnerability. Being willing to share, to take risks, and be vulnerable with others can lead to more intimate and meaningful connections. One of the most impactful tips for me has been to focus on building self-awareness. I used to put so much pressure on myself to be perfect. But once I started working on understanding my own strengths and weaknesses, I became more confident and self-assured. I started to attract people who liked me for who I truly am, and that's when the real connections started happening. To recap, the 8 scientifically proven tips to finding love are: get clear on what you want, focus on building self-awareness, work on building a growth mindset, practice self-care, be open to new experiences, focus on building meaningful friendship, practice mindfulness, and show vulnerability. Remember, it's not about trying to impress others or conform to societal norms. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and attracting people who love and appreciate you for who you are. Thanks for watching, and I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Have you tried any of these tips? What's been your experience with online dating or finding love in general? Share your story, and don't forget to check out my other videos on relationship advice. Should one ever give their partner another chance? I'm going to explore some real stories and see if I can find a definitive answer. Relationships are complex with so many moving parts, and making decisions within them can be incredibly difficult. One of the most common dilemmas is whether to give a partner a second chance, and it's a question that requires a lot of thought and considerations. The question to potentially rekindle a past relationship can be an emotional roller coaster filled with turmoil and confusion. Your mind is racing with questions. Should I take them back? Have they really changed? Am I just being weak? By giving in, the uncertainty can be overwhelming, making it hard to know what to do. You may find yourself stuck in a cycle of thoughts, replaying past arguments and hurtful moments in your head, wondering if things would be different this time around. You might feel like you're walking on eggshells, unsure of what the future holds, or if you're just setting yourself up for more headache. It's common to feel torn between your emotions and your logic, with your heart screaming, give them another chance, while your head is cautioning, don't do it. You know, it won't work out. This back and forth can be exhausting, leaving you feeling drained and uncertain about what to do. When considering a second chance, there are several factors to take into account. First and foremost, you must need to think about the past issues that drove you apart in the first place. How those problems have been addressed. Has your partner genuinely apologized and make amends? Or are they just expecting forgiveness without putting in the efforts to change? Another crucial aspect is to examine is personal growth. Have you and your partner both grown as individuals since the breakup? Have you been working on yourself, learning from past mistakes, and becoming better versions of yourself? If not, then it's likely that the same problems will resurface and the relationship will fail again. You also need to consider the potential for change. Is your partner willing to put in the work to make things different this time around? Are they open to therapy, communication, and compromise? Or are they stuck in their old ways, refusing to budge or adapt? A staggering 44% of couples who get back together after a breakup will end up breaking up again. This statistic highlights the importance of careful considerations when deciding whether to give your partner another chance. It's not a decision to be taken highly or lightly, and you need to be honest with yourself about what you're getting back into. The reality is that every situation is unique, and what works for one couple might not work for another. There is no one size fits all answer to this question, and it's up to you to weigh the pros and the cons and make a decision that's right for you. If you have ever been in a situation where you've heard or had to decide whether to give your partner another chance, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below. Share your stories, your struggles, and your successes. And if you're looking for more insight into relationships and how to navigate them, be sure to check out another video that I have on relationship advice. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Join me as I take on the challenge of breaking free from toxic family cycles and sharing my journey to healing. Today, I want to talk to you about a really important topic that can be super uncomfortable, but altering necessary for personal growth. Breaking free from toxic family cycles. I think we've all been there at some point in life, stuck in a dynamic that's so suffocating us, draining our energy and affecting our mental health. But the good news is that we can free ourselves from these patterns, and that's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. Stay tuned and make sure you watch it till the end. Toxic family behaviors can manifest in so many ways, from constant criticism to emotional manipulation and even physical abuse. But no matter what form they take, they can be incredibly damaging to our self worth, our confidence, and our overall well being. Have you ever feel like you're walking on eggshells around your family members, never knowing when they'll lash out at you or make you feel guilty for something you didn't even do? That's not okay, and it's not your fault. When you grow up in a toxic family environment, it can be really hard to recognize the signs of abuse because it's all we've ever known. But as adults, it's our responsibility to acknowledge the harm that's been done and take steps to heal. One of the most common signs of toxic family behaviors is emotional manipulation. This can look like guilt tripping, gaslighting, or playing the victim to get attention and sympathy. That happens all the time, but we don't recognize it. Another sign is emotional neglect, where your feeling and needs are constantly dismissed or ignored. You might feel like you are not good enough, that you are not worthy of love and attention. And then there's a classic, it's all your fault syndrome, where family members blame you for everything and that goes wrong, even when it's not your fault. These patterns are insidious and they can be really hard to break, but we must acknowledge them if we want to move forward. Manipulation can also come in the form of unconditional, no, conditional love, where your worth is tied to your achievement or your ability to meet someone else's expectations. And let's not forget about gaslighting, where your perception of reality is constantly challenged, making you doubt your own sanity. These are just a few examples, but there are many more ways family behaviors can manifest. Growing up, I experienced a lot of emotional manipulation from my parents. They would constantly criticize me, make me feel guilty for minor mistakes, and dismiss my feelings. I became a people's pleaser, always trying to earn their approval. But no matter how hard I tried, it was never enough. I felt like I was walking on eggshells all the time, never knowing when they would lash out at me. But one day, I realized that I had a choice. I could continue to let their toxic behavior define me, or I could take control of my life and set boundaries. It wasn't easy and it wasn't quick, but I slowly started to break free from these patterns. I learned to recognize their manipulation tactics and I stopped letting them or letting their opinions dictate my self worth. Setting boundaries was a huge turning point for me. I started saying no to things that didn't feel right. And I stopped trying to please everyone all the time. I realized that I didn't have to be responsible for their emotions or their happiness. That was a huge weight off my shoulder. And it allowed me to start focusing on my healing. You could do the same. You've been there. And I know you got the ability to stop yours. Looking back, I realized that breaking free from toxic family cycle is not about cutting ties with your family member, but about setting healthy boundaries and taking care of yourself. It's about recognizing your own worth and values and living according to them. It's about healing from inside out and creating a life that's true to who you are. So, to recap, we've discussed the importance of breaking free from toxic family cycles, the signs of toxic family behaviors, and some common patterns that manipulate or guilt tripping and emotional neglect. We've also shared a personal story of transformation and healing. Remember, breaking free from toxic family cycle is possible, but it takes courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to set boundaries and take care of yourself. If you're struggling with toxic family relationships, I want to encourage you to share your story in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about healing from toxic relationship, check out my next video where we'll dive deeper into the process of recovery and growth. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Imagine the daily challenges intersex people face, especially Queen the Bola girl in her relationships. Let us in their rant try to understand their experiences firsthand. We often focus on the visible letters, but today I want to shed light on the often overlooked about Queen the Bola being an intersex individual. Despite being born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit typical male or female classifications, intersex people face unique challenges that often go unaddressed. From social stigma to medical intervention, it's time we understand their experiences and the importance of acceptance. Living as an intersex being can be a constant battle against discrimination and lack of understanding. Many face social exclusion. Many are denied basic human rights or are subjected to harmful medical interventions without their consent. The sheer lack of awareness about intersex issues means that even well-intentioned family members, friends, or healthcare providers can unintentionally cause harm. Moreover, intersex individuals are often forced to navigate a binary gender system that doesn't recognize their identities, leading to feelings of invalidation. This lack of understanding can be devastating, leading to anxiety, depression, and even suicide. This is what this beautiful Queen, the Bola girl, went through before coming out to share her story. And it's time, and it's still experiencing. Men took advantage of her, and some videotaped her and promised to blackmail her. After a lot of struggle, she decided to go into women. The medical challenges intersex people face are also deeply concerning. Queen the Bola girl comes from a poor background, and the parents could not afford medical bills until she was an adult. She went to the hospital and realized the male part was dominant. She shared this as people were asking her why is it that she was not taken care of when she was small. In many, they are subjected to non-consensual surgeries or hormone treatment, often performed without their full understanding or consent. This medical intervention can be physically or emotionally damaging, leading to long-term health consequences. The lack of intersex specific health care can make it difficult for them to access care that respects their autonomy and identity. Furthermore, the medical community emphasis on fixing intersex body can perpetuate harmful attitude, reinforcing the notion that their bodies are somehow broken or defective. The burden of secrecy and shame can be overwhelming, as intersex individuals are often forced to hide their true identities or experiences. Imagine her walking in the market and people screaming her, "Queen the Bola girl, Queen the Bola girl," some out of love and some out of hatred. And she was confused, not knowing what to say or do. This silence can lead to feelings of isolation, making it difficult to form meaningful connections or find support. The constant struggle to assert their identities and challenge societal norms can be exhausting, leaving many feeling like they are living in their shadows. When we listen to the stories of intersex individuals, we begin to understand the depth of their struggles. We hear about the pain of being forced into gender expectation, the trauma of medical intervention, and the resilience required to assert their identities in a world that doesn't always understand. We are reminded that every person deserves autonomy over their bodies and identity, regardless of their biological and the man was and characteristics. It's time we acknowledge the harm caused by societal misconception and the importance of accepting and awareness. One pivotal moment that stands out is the powerful activism of intersex individuals who have dared to speak out against the injustice they face. Their voices have shattered the silence, inspiring a new wave of awareness and advocacy. We see it in the growth of intersex-led organizations, in the increasing visibility of intersex voices in the media, and in the growing recognition of intersex rights as human rights. This movement is a testament to the resilience of intersex individuals and a reminder that change is impossible when we listen to their voices. Another crucial aspect is the importance of intersectionality in the fight for intersex rights. We must recognize that intersex individuals often face multiple forms of oppression, from racism to homophobia, transphobia, or obesism. By acknowledging these intersections, we build a more inclusive movement that addresses the unique challenges of intersex people in color, disability, and marginalization in community faces. As we dive deeper into the experiences of intersex individuals, we are reminded of the importance of empathy and understanding. We must recognize that their struggles are not burdens to be shouldered alone, but rather a call to action for all of us. By listening to their story, amplifying their voices, and advocating for their rights, we can create a more inclusive world where every person can strive. Our beautiful Bola girl, after having a boy and a girl with two different women, she fell in love with a man and decided to try her luck one more time. She had her traditional and white wedding. After the wedding, the husband could not have access to her, so they decided to go for a medical checkup, and they were told she does not have a womb, thus she cannot give birth to a child. That's the more reason the private part was not weight or accessible. She had a big issue with her husband, who asked her to leave, that he is tired with the marriage that is barely a few months old. She was begging, but the man threw her things away and belonging. If you were Queen Debola girl, will you stay in this marriage or will you leave? In conclusion, let's acknowledge the daily challenges intersex people face and strive to create a world that respects, values, and understands their experiences. Know that they need relationship just like other human beings. Thanks for watching, and if you would like to share your thoughts on this topic, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to check out other videos that explore this topic, and let's continue to build a more inclusive and accepting community for all. Remember to go down in the comment section, comment and subscribe to this channel, and look for another channel and subscribe to. Let's show love. See you